Hey Alex, I wanted to just make you a quick video and review how to introduce the Gentle Leader, or whatever it is they're calling it, the brand that you have. Gentle Leader is actually a brand, um, uh, but let me explain, because these things are not necessarily intuitive, so let me walk you through it. So as you probably saw in that video from Jean McDonald, the first thing we do is we get the product, and we're not going to try to put it on her right away. We're just going to hide the product behind our back and have our treats ready. So you want to be able to like get that hand in and be treating rapidly. And what you do is you bring the Gentle Leader out where she sees it, and put it in front of her, and then reward with cheese or whatever good high value reward, and then take it away and pause, count to 30. And so basically the party's only happening when the Gentle Leader is present. So then it's funny, Finn is targeting it behind my back. So now you bring it out again, reward, and then put it away. So do that like twice and then quit. Later in the day, do it 2 or 3 more times and then quit. Again, count to about 20 or 30 in between each one, and be in a different location when you do it. So she's become, sorry for the camera work here. So she's becoming clear that this isn't about the treats. This isn't about the chair. It's like the only common element is the presence of this. Okay, so now we have introduced it, and basically she should start to be getting interested in this thing coming out and doing a treat session. Okay, so now we're creating a little bit of a happy vibe around this thing. So I want to explain how this works, and yours is probably going to be similar to mine. It's going to look like this when you get it, and you're like, what? So this is the part that clips around the high back of the head, right where the skull bone is. It's not low on the neck like a normal collar, it's high up. And this part, you push up. So it looks like this. What you do is you push it up, and this is the part that the nose is going to go around. So if I grab, so this is the dog's nose. Here's the dog's nose coming through, and then this goes back around behind the head. So what I usually do is the dog is facing me. So the dog is facing me, and I usually open this up. This is a little slidey clip, and what you can do, this is a little tough to open with my hand. Oh man, hang on. Dan, I may need you to help me open this. Oh, there, I got it. Okay. So this thing slides up and down. So technically, I mean, you could have a very big nosed dog. Nobody has a dog with a nose like that. But what I do is I open it all the way. So the dog learns to put her nose in it, and it's not tight around her nose yet. While that's happening, so what I'll do is I'll take it and I'll put my hands up. So I'm making a clear path for the nose. So you don't want to hold it like this, because then she can't get her nose in there. So you don't care about this stuff around the neck right now. We're just working on the nose part. So you hold it from the top, spread it open, and you're going to hold a nice little treat here, and she's going to, come get the treat. And we do, 10 of those and then quit. Later, come back, make her put her nose through a little, like start out normal, and then make her put her nose through a little bit more, but there's still no constriction around the nose. It's wide open. So we're just getting her used to this game. Okay, now you have to put your nose in. Okay, so that's really good. Now what you're going to want to do sometime is, while she's doing that, you're just going to gently figure out where should the little clip go to make it the right size for her nose. And you want it to be comfortable, like it goes kind of right in front of the eyes. It doesn't go around the mouth like a muzzle. This is not a muzzle. She should have this kind of back near her eyes, and that's why we want it tight enough that it's not floating up into her eyes. So it's right, in front of her eyes, but she has full mouth open and closure capability. But what's nice about this is when you have this over her nose and then it's back behind her head, and then your leash is clipped here, then when she does start to pull, you have this gentle way to move her skull without having to fight with her. So the other thing, though, I really want you to warn your kids about this. This is not something that should be jerked ever. So if you are having her pull or something, you want to kind of keep that leash low on her head level. We don't want jerking the head up. We don't want jerking the head to the side fast. We don't want to be causing chiropractic issues. This is a gentle leader. So it's really important. And so also when she's on it, we ideally want a nice loose leash. And so if you're going down the stairs or something and you've got that tight, she's going to be like this, right? So we want to be very conscious of how we're handling her when she has this on. Okay, now a lot of dogs will object to this at first. They kind of all object to it at first. But she doesn't get to vote on everything. So, so what I do is, remember I told you you're going to kind of figure out where you want, like if that's the right size for her nose. I just kind of take a temporary measurement with my little thumb, and then I take it off of her, and I grab a Sharpie, and I make a line where that should go. So in the future, when I'm moving this clip back into position, I don't have to guess what is the right spot for her nose. So I have this marked for Finn, and what you do then is you can pull this through, and now I'm going to slide this back into position. You can see the little line there. I slide it back to that point, and then it locks in place. It's kind of hard to open and close. For me, it's hard to open and close that lock, but it just goes boop, back into position. And now it does not slide around. So now when I pull this up, it's the right size for my dog's nose. So what you'll do is you'll work with her on this little game where she's putting her nose in, getting a reward, putting her nose in, getting a reward. And then let's pretend for a minute that this was the right size for Ellie. What you'll do is you'll move the clip a little bit up, so it's here, so it's a little smaller than it was. And then eventually after playing this game, through the course of 4 or 5 more days, you will get this to its correct position. And now, and again, be real careful about making sure your fingers aren't really making it hard for her to, in fact, you can also, if you wanted to, you could go like that, but I usually go like this. So you want to let her get it on. Now, totally separately, as per the video, now we're going to forget about that for a minute, and we can just pull this through and get it out of the way. Now we're going to work on the act of putting this around her neck and clipping it totally separately than the nose work. So we're going to just have her come over, and we're just going to gently put this on nice and loose, looser than it will be later. And in my case, it had a long thing here, which was too long for Finn. What size is this? I think I cut off the size thing. Anyway, what I did was, so you make it nice and long, so it's too loose at first, but you're just getting her used to she comes up to you and you just reach around and clip, and as soon as you hear this, you hear that little clip sound, I click and reward. And to this day, when I put this on, to this day when I leash my dog, I click and reward. Okay, so a dog might be a little concerned about what is that. In fact, you might even show her. It's like, oh, click and reward. Before you even put it on her, click and reward. Because she could be a little concerned, like, what's going on back there, right? So this is, we make it little baby steps. Okay, so we take this, and now we're practicing on just putting it on her loosely. And because it's so loose, it's going to hang way down here. Just hold it up here for a moment, and then click, and then take it off and reward. Okay, so now you've got this thing going, and you've got the nose thing going. So then we graduate to the next step, which is, and this is again, 2-minute sessions repeatedly throughout the day over a course of days and days. Okay, so now we're going to get to the point where she's in front of us and she comes up, and you can add a cue for this. We like the cue when we're putting equipment on our dog. We like the cue dress. So as she comes and puts her nose in it, you're labeling it as it happens. Remember, that cue doesn't make this happen because she doesn't know the behavior yet. So as she puts her nose in, you can say dress, and you slid it on her nose, and now it's hanging on her nose. So it's going to flop, but pretend it's there. And then you just slide your hands down to this part. Let me get back up so you can see that better. I'm too close. Okay, so here she is. She puts her nose in here, And so now this is holding on her nose, and you just, because you can let go because it's on her nose, and you just slide down and clip this up behind her. And you can then figure out, how small does that need to be? And you can take it off of her and make it a little smaller. And then you'll try it a little smaller until you feel it's the right size. You want to put maximum 2 fingers looseness between that. So you should be able to hook 2 fingers into that. That's the right tightness. Okay, and with the nose part, you don't have to hook 2 fingers in. That might be too much. Just sort of see how it's sitting on her nose. I don't want it sliding back and forth down her nose. That's as irritating as anything for her. Okay, so in my case, once I figured out the right length on this for Finn, I had this really long part of it hitting off here. What I did was I cut that you can see I have a little tail here. So I cut that. I think I tried to glue it or something so it won't fray. And then I unhooked it and I took a hair rubber band, a hair elastic, and I looped it and looped it and looped it to hold this flat as one against this. Technically, you could super glue it or something in place here, but that really prevents you from ever adjusting it. So that's what I did. But keep in mind that the product that you buy may end up having a long thing here, which is going to hang here. That will annoy her. So you're going to want to get rid of that excess. Okay? Okay, so let's pretend we're doing our exercises. Now what we do is we translate it so that before she gets any meal, we slip this on. So we get the meal ready. But before we give her the meal, we call her over, we slip this. Well, don't even call her, because if she has any aversion to this, you don't want her to come to you and then do something she's not so sure about. So you just bring her over and you put this on her, click and reward, deliver the meal, let her start eating the meal. And then before here's the idea. The idea is she's going to eat the meal, and then she's going to be happy while she's eating the meal, and then she's going to look up and think, what's this thing on my nose? And she's going to start pawing at it. Very normal. But we'd like to catch her before she starts pawing at it. We'd like to discourage that. So if she does start pawing at it, go ahead and take it off of her. But in the next meal, stand there, and while she's eating, just before she's done and might start pawing at it, go ahead and slip it off her. So we want to start pairing meals with wearing the gentle leader. Okay, so then now let's pretend we have it on her. We're doing another session. Before you put it on her, clip your leash to it. And the leash should be a lightweight leash. So this is the one I use for Finn. So it's pretty lightweight. And the reason is you're going to have some power steering here. And here's your clip. What you don't want is a heavy leash that's now going to be kind of, constantly kind of pulling on her. And keep in mind that the chain is lower now. So this is where, let's pretend this is his chin now, right? And so now it's way down here. And if you had a big clip or something down here, it could swing and this big heavy thing swinging around, not going to like that. So we want a nice light leash, okay? And then you start working on the loose leash walking. Do it in the house first before you take it outside. And you just walk with her. And as long as she's not pulling, you just click and reward. So you're basically teaching her, oh, you're walking and you're wearing this and happy things are still happening. So we're just like constantly rewarding. And then you take it in a slightly more distracting place. You might wait to put it on until you can get to an appropriate, slightly more distracting place, like going down your stairs and out the street, may not be the next step, right? We want to ratchet up that distraction a little more slowly. So that's kind of the progression. Now they sell, sorry, that's my leash. They sell 2 versions of this product. This one that you've seen, and this is by the company's name is Premier, Premier. I haven't seen them over here in Europe, but this is in the US who sells it. And the name of the product is Gentle Leader. And then there's another company that starts with a B. And they, I think, sell a version of the same thing. And then there's another version of this that looks the same, but I'm going to pretend I'm the dog's head. Here's the dog's head, and here's the dog's nose, okay? So here are the eyes, here's the back of the head, and here's the nose. There's another version that has a little band of webbing between here and here, and it just kind of stabilizes the nose piece to keep it from sliding forward or back. And I don't really have an opinion about whether that's better or not. I think it's more about what you can find available. People can buy these at Amazon Spain. So I'll look around and see if I have a link, but start looking on Amazon Spain and see if you can find it. I don't know if you noticed the Cocker Spaniel named Dillis that's in our class. Louise was there with her 2 teenage daughters. They were working with Dillis. And I think there's some photos that I posted in the group. Dillis is wearing the one with the little extra piece of webbing between the nose part and the neck part. So if you want to see what that one looks like, but you'll also see on the product photos. Okay, so I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Okay, bye.